Hi, my name is Ashley Kilgore, and today I'm going to speak to you about felony disenfranchisement. How would you feel if someone told you that you could not vote in the presidential election in November of 2020? Did you know that according to the Sentencing Project organization, 6.1 million people have lost their right to vote due to a felony conviction? That's 6.1 million lost votes. The right to vote should not be taken from anyone. And as a citizen, I understand the importance of voting, and as a felon, I sympathize with those who are stripped of that right. Today, I will show the gravity of this issue by explaining why felons need to be able to vote while they're incarcerated, explore why they aren't, and how we can solve this problem. So why do felons need to be able to vote while they are incarcerated? Dr. Mandeep Dhami, lecturer on criminology at the University of Cambridge Institute of Criminology, says it best. Denying prisoners the right to vote is likely to undermine respect for the rule of law, since citizens who cannot participate in the making of laws will probably not recognize their authority. Allowing prisoners to vote, by contrast, may strengthen their social ties and commitment to the common good, thus promoting legally responsible participation in civil society. I have a friend who is facing felony charges right now, and I asked her how she felt about the possibility of losing her right to vote. And she said, "Why should I be a productive member of society if I have no say in societal issues?" These two statements sound astoundingly similar. Why should a person who has no say in the laws they must abide by feel like they should be bound by them? Proponents of disenfranchisement only say that felons are untrustworthy, that losing their right to vote is part of the punishment, or that it could cause prison riots because felons are dangerous people. These don't seem like logical reasons to deny a civil right. It's like keeping a kid in detention for the rest of his life when he only cheated on one exam. According to Procon.org, Steve Chapman, a writer and editor at the Chicago Tribune, said we let ex-convicts marry, reproduce, buy beer, own property, and drive. They don't lose their freedom of religion, their right against self-incrimination, or their right not to have soldiers quartered in their home during times of war. But in many places, the assumption is that they can't be trusted to help choose our leaders. If we thought criminals could never be reformed, we wouldn't let them out of jail in the first place. I may have a solution. I understand that if you commit a crime, you may stand to lose your rights, your freedom for a period of time, but you should never lose your civil rights. Your right to a lawyer, your right to a trial by jury, your right to choose your own religion, your right to assemble, your right to vote. I propose to implement a 25% plan. If a person is accused and rightly found guilty of a felony, then they should lose their right to vote for only 25% of their sentence. And according to Alan Fleury of UGA Today, felons make up 8% of the nation's population. And according to the top 10 pro and con arguments about felony disenfranchisement, there is also the attitude that non-union, blue-collar white men tend to lean towards the Republican side of the spectrum rather than the Democrat, and that an overwhelming portion of the felon population in Washington state is non-union, blue-collar men. This 25% temporary suspension of a felon's right to vote would neutralize the effect that keeping that right the whole time would have on a community that felons are not a part of while incarcerated. I would propose that a prison write-up or a violation of probation or parole would restart the 25%. However, once a felon's right to vote is reestablished, it cannot be taken away again without being fairly convicted of a new felony charge, and then for only 25% of their sentence. So now that we have a way to solve this problem, consider this. You're at the polls and about to vote on the thing most important to you, making all abortion illegal. Imagine that posted on the walls is a ticker screen. One side shows that 45 have been cast for making abortion illegal, and the other side shows that 50 have been cast against making it illegal. There is only one person left to vote. You have lost, and you fear the worst. All of those unborn babies that will never see the sun, never smell a flower, never smile. All of a sudden, the door swings open, and in walks a line of people. According to Let America Vote, that is the 10 to 35% of ex-convicts that will actually show up to vote ready to cast their ballots. The final count clicks into place, 54 to 52. You have won. Imagine the feeling of elation, the joy, the hope. Stop. Think. This would not be possible without the felons of our nation, incarcerated or otherwise. I urge you, when you are next at the polls and voting on whether felons should have the right to vote while incarcerated, to vote for them and for their ability to have a good influence on the course of their lives and others. Human rights are precarious, regardless of a person's station. Even though criminals have made mistakes, they are paying for them, and their rights should not be taken away. This issue can easily be solved by implementing my 25% plan. According to the Denver Post, you can contact Colorado Congressman Tipton through his website, www.tipton.house.gov/contact-me, or reach out to him by phone at 202-225-4761. Remember, felons are people with hearts and minds like you and I, and if we do not work together to protect everyone's rights, who will?